You know, one of the biggest mysteries in the entire Harry Potter series is how did Harry survive the killing curse in the Forbidden Forest? Voldemort hit him with Avada Kedavra, the most powerful dark spell there is. No dodging, no blocking. Just Harry standing there defenseless and yet somehow still alive. Fans have debated it for years. Was it wand lore? Ancient magic? A twist of fate? There's no shortage of theories. Some are poetic. Some are rooted in deep magical mechanics, and some might just be fan fiction in disguise, but not all of them hold the same weight. So in this video, we're going to break them all down. Every theory that tries to explain how Harry walked out of that forest alive. We'll start with the most speculative ideas and work our way up to the one that's actually confirmed in the books, the one that ties everything together. Stick around till the end, because the final answer, it's the most powerful magic in the entire series, and most people miss how deep it really goes. 1. The prophecy destiny theory. Let's begin with one of the oldest ideas around, the theory that Harry survived simply because he was destined to. According to this line of thought, Harry couldn't die in the Forbidden Forest because the prophecy hadn't finished playing out yet. You probably remember it, the one Trelawney gave in the Order of the Phoenix: neither can live while the other survives. It set the tone for the entire saga. The boy with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord. The chosen one. The one who must face Voldemort in the end. So, this theory argues that Harry didn't die because he wasn't meant to. Fate hadn't reached its climax. The final confrontation was still to come. Voldemort still had to be defeated by Harry, not just through death, but in a more complete and symbolic way. The logic sounds nice, almost poetic, like some mythical hero protected by destiny itself. But here's the issue. It leans too heavily on narrative symmetry and not enough on actual magical mechanics. In the wizarding world, prophecies don't guarantee outcomes. As Dumbledore explained, it's the choices of those who hear the prophecy that make it real. The prophecy could have applied to Neville. It only became Harry's burden because Voldemort believed it did and acted on it. If Voldemort had never tried to kill Harry as a baby or had simply ignored the prophecy, it might have never mattered at all. So there's no evidence that fate would have stepped in and protected Harry in the forest. Not to mention, Voldemort had already tried to kill Harry multiple times throughout the series. In Philosopher's Stone, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, and none of those moments were cushioned by prophecy. There was no invisible shield of destiny protecting him. So while the prophecy adds a lot of dramatic weight, it doesn't work as an explanation for why Harry survived a killing curse. It might guide the story's theme, but not its magical reality. Still, it's a tempting idea, especially if you like thinking in terms of fate and symbolism. But in terms of concrete, magical cause and effect, this one's more poetic than practical. 2. The Horcrux destruction theory. Next up is a theory that dives deep into magical mechanics. The idea that Harry survived because Voldemort only destroyed the Horcrux inside him, not Harry himself. Let's break it down. When Voldemort tried to kill baby Harry, a fragment of his own soul latched onto the only living thing in the room, Harry himself. That piece of Voldemort's soul made Harry an unintentional Horcrux. It's why Harry could speak parcel tongue, why he had visions into Voldemort's mind, and why their fates were so deeply linked. Now fast forward to the Forbidden Forest. When Voldemort casts Avada Kedavra on Harry, The curse does kill something, but not the part of Harry that's truly Harry. Instead, it kills the Horcrux inside him. This is actually supported by what Harry experiences immediately after the curse hits. He wakes up in that strange, dreamlike version of King's Cross Station. Dumbledore is there, and so is something else. A twisted, shriveled form whimpering under a bench. Dumbledore tells Harry he can't help it. That creature? It's the part of Voldemort's soul that was inside Harry, dying. So in this theory, the killing curse works, but instead of killing Harry, it targets and destroys the parasitic piece of Voldemort's soul inside him. Sounds solid, right? Well, sort of. There's a catch. Avada Kedavra is not known for its selectivity. It's a death curse, pure and simple. It doesn't usually go, "Oh, I'll just kill the evil bit and leave the host alive." That's not how curses work in the wizarding world. If you're hit with it, you die. Full stop. Which raises the question, why didn't Harry die along with the Horcrux? That's what weakens this theory just a bit. It's likely part of the puzzle. It explains what the curse destroyed, but it doesn't fully explain why Harry's body survived the curse a second time. So while this theory is definitely closer to the truth than the prophecy one, it's not the complete answer. It tells us what died, but not why Harry lived. For that, we'll need to keep going. 3. The Elder Wand Rebound Theory. All right. Now we're stepping into wand lore, a branch of magic that's subtle, ancient, and incredibly powerful. This theory says that Harry survived in the Forbidden Forest because the Elder Wand refused to kill him. Let's rewind. By the time Voldemort hits Harry with the killing curse in the forest, he's using the Elder Wand, the most powerful wand in existence. But there's a twist. The Elder Wand doesn't truly belong to him. Its loyalty lies with someone else, and that someone is Harry. Why? Because earlier in Deathly Hallows, Harry had disarmed Draco Malfoy, and Draco had, in turn, disarmed Dumbledore, making him the wand's previous master. Since wand loyalty can shift through disarmament, not just death, Harry had unknowingly become the true master of the Elder Wand. So when Voldemort uses the Elder Wand to kill Harry, he's commanding a wand that won't obey him. In fact, he's commanding a wand that's actively loyal to the person he's trying to murder. And that's where this theory gets interesting. Maybe, just maybe, the killing curse didn't work properly because the wand itself resisted. Maybe the spell rebounded just enough to weaken its power, not enough to backfire like in the first book, and also not like in the final duel, where it completely rebounded and killed Voldemort, which was because Harry was resisting, and here he doesn't. Let's leave that for another video. But enough that it only killed the Horcrux inside Harry, and not Harry himself. It's not totally without precedent. Wand loyalty has caused spells to misfire before. In Goblet of Fire, when Harry and Voldemort's wands lock in priori incantatem, it's because their cores are identical. Magic reacts to loyalty and lineage in deeply personal ways. So this theory suggests that the Elder Wand may have softened or redirected the curse, spelling doom for the Horcrux inside Harry, but sparing his life. Now, how solid is it? Well, it's clever. It fits into what we know about wand allegiance and the Elder Wand's unique properties. It also explains why Voldemort's spell didn't have the usual finality, but there's a drawback. Even Ollivander himself admits that wand lore isn't always predictable. It's more of an art than a science. So, while the Elder Wand's loyalty is canon, it's not confirmed that it played a direct role in Harry's survival. It might have been a factor, But there's no moment where Dumbledore or Harry explicitly says, "Ah, the wand protected me." So like the Horcrux theory, this one gives us a great piece of the puzzle, but not the whole picture. Still, in terms of magical logic, this one ranks pretty high. 4. The Resurrection Stone's Influence Theory. This theory doesn't lean heavily on wand mechanics or soul shards, but instead taps into something more abstract, more mythical, the idea that Harry survived because he was in possession of the Resurrection Stone. Right before walking into the Forbidden Forest, Harry takes the Resurrection Stone from inside the snitch Dumbledore left him. He turns it 3 times in his hand, just as the legend instructs, and out appear the spirits of James, Lily, Sirius, and Remus. They don't come back as ghosts, but as shades, calm, comforting presences who guide Harry toward death. Now, here's where the theory takes shape. Some fans believe the Resurrection Stone did more than simply let Harry see the dead. They think it played a role in protecting him from death itself, that it formed a kind of spiritual barrier or magical buffer, a mystical protection that prevented him from truly dying when Voldemort hit him with Avada Kedavra. In essence, the stone didn't just show him death, it guarded him from it. It's poetic, right? The idea that one of the deathly Hallows itself refused to let Harry die, especially in a moment when he willingly offered himself to save others, mirroring the tale of the Peverell brothers. And it fits with the larger symbolism. The Resurrection Stone is the middle Hallow in the trio, and in the Deathly Hallows legend, it's the Hallow that connects the living and the dead. Maybe that connection is what allowed Harry to walk the line between life and death without falling fully into either realm. But here's the thing. This theory is beautiful, but it's also purely speculative. There's no hard evidence that the stone offers any kind of physical protection. In fact, the original Peverell brother who owned it used it and still died. By suicide, no less. Even Dumbledore never suggests the stone has defensive power. In the books, the stone's power is always described as illusory. It brings back shadows, not life. It's more about closure than salvation. So, is it a cool theory? Absolutely. It resonates emotionally and thematically. But is it canon? Not really. Still, if you like your magic a little mysterious, if you believe that some spells go deeper than wands and curses, this theory holds a certain quiet power. 5. The Master of Death Theory. This theory takes its cue from the core mythology of the Deathly Hallows. According to legend, anyone who unites the 3 Hallows, the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the Invisibility Cloak, becomes the Master of Death. And as we know, by the time Harry walks into the Forbidden Forest, he holds all 3. He's the true master of the Elder Wand, having earned its allegiance. He's in possession of the Resurrection Stone, which he activates moments before his walk to Voldemort. And the Invisibility Cloak, the only true Deathly Hallow passed down from Ignotus Peverell, is his by blood and right. So, what does the theory say? Well, it suggests that Harry didn't survive because of a fluke or loophole, but because, at that moment, he had become the master of death. Not someone who fears death, not someone who cheats death, but someone who understands it, accepts it, and is therefore beyond its reach. That's what the 3rd Peverell brother did in the legend. He didn't hide from death or chase immortality. He greeted death like an old friend when his time came, and Harry mirrors that exactly. He chooses to die. He walks willingly toward his fate. He isn't armed, he isn't hiding, and he isn't trying to fight back. And yet, he survives. So maybe, just maybe, that's what it means to be the master of death. Not to wield the Hallows as weapons, but to demonstrate complete acceptance. To reach a state where death no longer has power over you. Some fans love this idea because it ties Harry's survival into the broader lore of the series. It gives his moment in the forest a deep, mythic resonance. It makes him the final chapter in a centuries-old tale about power, fear, and the meaning of mortality. But how canon is it? Well, it's half and half. J.K. Rowling has never explicitly confirmed that being the master of death offers magical invincibility. It's largely metaphorical in the books. Even Dumbledore says in King's Cross that the Hallows are dangerous when pursued for the wrong reasons, but harmless in the hands of someone like Harry, who doesn't seek domination. So, is there a magical rule that says the Master of Death can't die? Not officially, but is it a beautiful idea? One that fits Harry's character, the Hallows legacy, and the larger themes of the series? Absolutely. It's one of the most poetic theories of all, because whether it's literal or not, Harry was the Master of Death that night. And that alone might have made all the difference. 6. The choice at King's Cross. There's a moment in Deathly Hallows that feels unlike anything else in the entire series. After Voldemort casts the killing curse in the Forbidden Forest, Harry wakes up, except not in the forest. Not in the afterlife either. Instead, he's in a vast, glowing white space that looks suspiciously like King's Cross Station. And waiting for him there is none other than Albus Dumbledore. This theory focuses on what that place represents, what was actually happening to Harry, and why it matters. According to this explanation, the Avada Kedavra did hit Harry, but it didn't kill him. What it destroyed was the piece of Voldemort's soul that had been inside him since he was a baby. So, when the curse struck, it severed that parasitic connection, but left Harry himself in a kind of limbo, not dead, but not fully alive either. This theory argues that the King's Cross moment is a magical in-between, a space created by the powerful forces at play, Horcrux magic, sacrificial magic, and the killing curse itself. It's a kind of pause where the universe waits for Harry to decide, will he go on or will he return? And that's the key. Harry chooses to come back. Dumbledore doesn't send him. No spell forces him. It's Harry's own will, his own bravery, that makes him return to the fight. And that choice, it echoes the entire series. From choosing Gryffindor to choosing to face danger again and again, Harry's greatest strength has always been the ability to choose love, sacrifice, and courage, even when it hurts. Now, as compelling and emotionally satisfying as this theory is, it still leaves one question hanging in the air. Why was Harry allowed to make that choice at all? Why didn't the killing curse just kill him? That's where the next and final theory comes in, because this limbo moment didn't just happen by accident. It happened because something was protecting Harry all along, something ancient, something rooted in blood magic, and something that Voldemort never truly understood. So really, this theory and the next one go hand in hand. Harry could choose to come back because of the protection that made sure he wasn't fully gone. And that takes us to our final theory, and the most canon explanation of all. 7. The blood protection theory. This is it. the most widely accepted, most canon explanation for why Harry survived the killing curse in the Forbidden Forest. And it all goes back to Lily Potter. When Lily died to save Harry, she cast a kind of ancient primal protection that Voldemort didn't understand and, frankly, didn't respect. It wasn't a spell. It wasn't a charm. It was something older and deeper than that. The magic of willing sacrifice. By choosing to die rather than step aside, Lily wrapped Harry in a magical shield, one that made it physically impossible for Voldemort to kill him, at least not without undoing himself in the process. Dumbledore knew this. That's why he left Harry with the Dursleys, not because he liked them, but because Lily's protection lived on in her blood, and Petunia, as her sister, shared that bloodline. As long as Harry could call that place home, Lily's protection would hold. But here's where it gets even deeper. When Voldemort returned to power, he made a critical mistake. He didn't just come back using any old ritual. He chose to use Harry's blood in the process. He thought that by doing so, he could overcome Lily's protection. He didn't realize he was actually anchoring that protection within himself. That's the twist. By taking Harry's blood into his body, Voldemort tethered Lily's sacrificial protection to his own life. As long as Voldemort was alive, Harry couldn't die. That's why the killing curse in the forest didn't work the way it should have. It destroyed the Horcrux inside Harry, but it couldn't destroy Harry himself. The blood protection was still active, still intact, still tied to Voldemort's living body. And this wasn't a fan theory. This is something Dumbledore confirms to Harry during their King's Cross conversation. He tells Harry, quite plainly, that your mother's sacrifice lives on in your veins, and Lord Voldemort has taken it inside himself. So yes, Harry made the choice to return. But he could only make that choice because Lily's protection kept the door open for him. In a way, Voldemort engineered his own failure. His obsession with overcoming death, his need to dominate and control everything, including ancient magic, ended up being the very thing that saved Harry's life. So, to simplify it even more, why didn't Harry die? Because his blood was running through Voldemort's veins. And what's so special about that? That blood carried Lily's protection, magic that was meant to keep Harry safe. So what does that mean? It means Voldemort, with that protected blood inside him, was physically incapable of killing Harry. The protection was literally living inside his body, forbidding him from doing it. And that's the real answer. Yes, all the theories we explored hold pieces of the puzzle, some poetic, some mechanical, some emotional. But when you stack them all together, this last one is the cornerstone. The blood protection isn't just clever magic, it's love, written into the very fabric of Harry's story. It's the one kind of magic Voldemort could never understand, and in the end, it's the very thing that brought about his downfall. And those were the 7 different theories we explored today. 7 is the most magical number in the wizarding world after all, right? These theories together show just how rich and complex the story truly is. Now, I'd love to know what you think. Which of these theories makes the most sense to you? Do you agree that the blood protection theory is the strongest one? Or is there another explanation that you prefer? If you think I missed a detail, or if you've got a different theory of your own, feel free to share it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Fiction Files, and I'll see you in the next one.